Hello everybody, I am just working on the black wax here on this piece, and I thought I would just come on and show you what I'm doing and how to do this. So I've already done the clear wax. I've done one coat of clear wax to protect everything, and now I'm just adding a bit of character with the black wax, and you can see the difference and how different it looks when you add the black wax. So this has been black waxed, and up here has not been black wax, so you can see it just kind of adds character when you do the black wax. And right here, this has been black waxed, and right over here has not been black waxed. So let me see if I can scoot back so you can, hopefully you can see the difference between when you add the black wax for character. It really does make a difference. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to do some black wax right here on this side. So this, what I typically, like I said, this was already clear wax yesterday, and now I'm just adding just a quick coat of a little bit more clear wax right before I add the black wax. So it already has a protector of clear coat, and now I'm just adding, doing the character building here with the black wax. And this is my mix. I have black matte wax mixed in with clear wax, so it's not pure. It's not the pure black, because the pure black is really dark. So I just added a bit of clear wax in with my black to lighten it just a smidgen, because this color that's on here is a really light color. Now you just want to work in small sections. You want to make sure you don't, you're not going to put a lot of wax all over the place. You need to make sure that you stay and work in small sections. That's the key to working with the wax. And if you're local and you have not worked with wax before, I have a little bits of wax at my booth. If you want to just try little sample pots, you can go to my booth and buy just little bits of wax. If you haven't worked with it before, I know it can be kind of scary working with it. It is something you have to learn to do. It's not, a lot of people find wax just too difficult to work with. But I love it. I mean, you can see how much character building it does, how much just adds. It's kind of like the makeup to pieces, right? Like some people, you can do gilding waxes, you can do gold leaf, you can do all sorts of different things to your furniture to add character, and this is just one thing that you can do. And it ages it, and it just gives it, makes it look really cool and unique. The black wax does. So I already put a little bit more clear wax here. I'm just going to add a little bit of the mix of my black wax and clear wax mix. And sometimes if it looks like I need a little bit more black wax, I'll go straight to my black after I've done my mix of clear and black. I'll come on and add straight black. The booth is at Department 13 in Chattanooga. It's in the East Ridge Antique District in Chattanooga. And it's at Department 13 is the name of the store. And I've got just tiny little sample containers of wax there. If you have not tried working with wax before and the thought of waxing an entire piece of furniture is overwhelming, just buy a little tiny wax and test it out and see what you think. A little tiny wax is definitely enough if you're just going to do details on something. It's enough, just to get like a little tiny sample pot. So I'm just doing the rubbing with an old t-shirt rag. That's all you need. Now you do need, I definitely recommend wax brushes. You want to use a wax brush is a natural bristle brush, kind of like the chalk paint brushes that you buy, natural bristle. So these are just little wax brushes. I think I have some in the booth, but you can get them. I mean, just about everybody sells these little wax. They're just called wax brush, and you can even use if you have like a regular. I even have, these are my stencil brushes. I even sometimes use my little stencil brushes. Also work with wax, like areas like this. When I have to get in here after I shut off the video, I'll get in here in my little tiny areas with my little tiny stencil brushes and do the, you know, get in there with my wax. So any natural bristle brush will work. I'm gonna actually go now straight to my black and not do my mix. I've already done my mix here. Wait a minute, I do the top. And now I'm gonna go straight to my black. Straight to my black and add a little bit more black. You can see here, this is a tiny bit darker. Move the camera back. Tiny bit darker here, hopefully you can see. So I'm going to add a tiny bit more black wax here. So I'm going straight to my black and just adding a little bit more aging with straight black now. And like I said, just make sure that you work in small sections. You do not want this to dry on your, hello April, from Indiana. You do not want your wax to dry before you wipe it off, because it really darkens, right? These waxes, some of these waxes are very, very dark, and they will most definitely darken your pieces. But if you're doing this and you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh my word, that is way, way too dark for me, I'll show you what you do. There is a way to fix this. So it's not the end of the world if you get your black wax or your dark wax on and you don't like it. I'm just going to rub this in a little more here. So now look how different that looks compared to right up here. There is no wax whatsoever, right? So you can see it's just added so much more character to the piece with the black wax. So this is what I'll show you here. I think this one. Let's say I put this on. And when you're doing this, if you're waxing the front of your drawer, you need to make sure you're doing the sides and the top too. Don't forget about that. You want it all to, you know, match and go together. So let's say I do this. And this is just right, but let's pretend I don't like this and I'm looking at it thinking, oh my goodness me, that's too black, I don't like it. All you have to do is get your clear wax and put on your clear wax, and that will take off that black wax. So it acts as an eraser, not 100% taking it off, but it did take off quite a bit. So don't panic if you're not happy with this. I like that, but if you're not happy with, if you think this is too much, all you have to do is get your clear wax, put it on, and remove it, and the clear wax will take off the black wax because it's still fresh. Now, once this cures, you can't do that. You know, it's cured, it's on there. So decide the day that you're doing this whether you like it or not, and you can just erase the black wax. So this drawer right here, I'm going to do the front. And so I've already clear waxed yesterday. I sealed everything. You want to always do your clear wax first. And I'm just going to add a tiny bit more clear wax here before I put my black wax on. Because this is a light color. And now I'm going to get my mix of dark black wax and clear wax. After the wax treatment, do you deal with something else? No. Wax is your sealer. This is a sealer. This is like your top coat. So you don't want to put anything else on top of this. This is it. Now that's because I use, this is an Annie Sloan wax I'm using. The one I sell in the booth is also solvent based. But this is a solvent base. It is your top coat. You do not want to put anything else on top of this. So now you do have to also be careful. Now there are some waxes that are water-based. I think Dixie Belle's wax is water-based. So I don't work with that. This is Annie Sloan. The one I sell at the booth is solvent based. This is an amazing top coat, her waxes. They are solvent based and they're very sturdy and strong and great top coat. So don't put anything else on top of this. Now I'm just looking between this one and this one to see if it's the same. And it looks the same to me. Maybe a tiny bit darker right here at the bottom. So let me just get, now I'm going to get my plain black. This is not the mix. This is the straight black. And I'm going to add a tiny bit more so that I will match this drawer. And I can see right here in the edges I've got more black wax. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit more black wax. So when you're working with waxes that are solvent based, like Annie Sloan, this is a tough top coat, and you want to, normally 2 coats is enough of her waxes. That's all I ever do is 2 coats when I'm doing her wax. So can you see right here, now something you have to be careful with when you're working with these colored waxes is, if I go and wipe right here, right, if I do a dark, a sort of a heavy wipe right here, you're going to have a mark then. So you do have to be careful. Let me push this. You do have to be careful that the way you're wiping also is important when you're working with a dark wax like this, right? If I did a wipe right here, I'm going to have a line right there. So just try to stay the same motion when you're putting on your waxes. Now, when it's clear wax, it doesn't really matter which way you go. It's clear, but with the dark waxes, you're going to see. Hang on, I don't think I did my, let me just do my side here. Do a little bit more up top because I took off, I was showing you guys and I took off the wax there. So now if you wanted to even add more, you want to go and you can go and do that now right here in the crevices. I could add a little bit more if I wanted to, but that's plenty dark. So I'm now going to put on a tad bit more clear wax, just super quick before my black wax. And now I'm gonna go to my mix here. Let me wipe off some of this straight black. I'm gonna go to my mix of black and clear. Because this is a very light color, I mixed black and clear wax together. Because as you can see, the black wax really darkens it, right? So I don't go straight black on the whole thing. I'll come in afterwards and touch it up if I want to, but my first coat of a color needs to be a mix. So these are just rags. Cotton rags are the best for you're rubbing in and you're taking off your wax. So, you know, as you can see, I'm removing the wax and I'm rubbing it in. So it's like I'm buffing at the same time. I don't go in, I don't go afterwards and do all that buffing that some people do, because I'm buffing. The way I do my wax is I'm buffing when I'm putting my wax on. That's the way I prefer to do it. Now I've already done my clear and black, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to I'm gonna go straight to my black. Let me rub some of this off. I'm gonna go straight to my black and just do my little bit more black, the corners, and just a little bit more darkness with my straight black. I like having wax in the edges. I think that looks really cool. So you can get these, you can get the rag, you can get a bundle of rags at Home Depot, or you can go to like Goodwill and just get like an old, white t-shirts are the best, but just get an old, did I do up top? I think I forgot to do up here. Just get an old t-shirt and cut it up. You want to make sure it's cotton. Cotton is the best to do when you're rubbing in this wax and working with the wax. So hopefully you guys can see the difference here between, there's the difference. Can you see the difference there between a black waxed piece and a not waxed? This is just clear wax on here. So you can see it adds lots of character when you're working with the black wax. I thought adding this black wax would be good for this piece, because with all this detail here, I see something right here. I'm just going to add a little bit more right here. So just work in small sections, don't, because this dries fast, and if you try and do your entire piece, you will not get the wax off. The wax is going to stick to your piece. So that is the trick, is you have to only work in small sections. Because you want to go and you're going to want to remove the wax. And I go inside here too, because you never know how the drawer is going to sit. Sometimes the drawers come in a bit, right? So I go in inside my drawers and I do the waxing there too. I'm liking it. I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to get my mix. I'm going to go a little bit inside. And you can see where you need to come back and add a little bit more wax. It'll be evident, you know, when you're working with these dark waxes, you'll be able to tell where you need to go and fix it. But everything dries really fast, so you have to remember that. Now right here, this is just here, here, and here. Anytime you have furniture that has all this carvings, this is the perfect furniture to do all these special things. I'm going to come back and do that side carving a little bit later. So I'm going to do this one right now. And then that will be it. Then you guys will know how to do this. So let me do my little bit of clear again first. So this already has a coat of clear on it that I put on yesterday. And what I normally do is I do my coat of clear wax as my protector. I let that sit for a day, and then I come back the next day and I do all my special waxes, either dark wax or black wax. But you want the clear wax to sit for a day, and you want it to soak into your piece, because the clear wax, the first coat, protects your paint. And this is what's protecting the paint and keeping the paint on here. So now I'm going to do my black. I'm going to do my mix of black and clear. And this works too for dry brushing. Wax works great for dry brushing. If you want to come back, let's say I'm looking at this tomorrow and I think, oh man, I really want some more shadowing, I want some more black wax. I can just really very carefully come back and do some more black wax, just really lightly. Let's say maybe inside here. And the wax that's on there won't come off because I've let it sit for a day. So you need to let the wax sit and cure and go into your piece of furniture. So I'm gonna try and go one way here. But I'm gonna show you guys, I'll just go ahead and wipe it and show you guys what happens. Can you see there? I now have a line there where I did that. And you can see now there's a line. So that's what I'm saying. You need to be, thank you. You need to be careful. You need to try and go the same way so that you don't have lines all over the place. Let's see if I can fix that. Sometimes you have to wait a day and you have to come back and fix something the next day. It doesn't always work to do, you know, the fix-it jobs. See if I can get that fixed. And if it doesn't get fixed, if I still see that line I just created, what I can do, I need to let it sit and I need to come back a day or two later and do my dry brushing of wax, and that will fix that area there. I just created to show you guys what happens. You have to be careful with the way you wipe. I actually might be getting this too dark now. What you can also do is you can also go to the, let's say I like this, and so I can come back over here and make this drawer darker too. So you can see this is pretty dark. I think I put on more black wax on this drawer than I did the other drawer. But I don't want to do, you have to be careful. You have to be really careful. You don't want to now go and mess up anything more here, because I'm going to cause all sorts of problems if I try now and go do anything else to this. I need to now let this sit, and I need to come back in a couple of days and fix it if I feel like I need to change something. Don't go messing around with your wax too much, because you're just going to cause problems on your piece. Another way to fix wax too is to bring in your mineral spirits. And if you're really unhappy with this, get your mineral spirits, and your mineral spirits will take this right off. So there are ways to fix issues if you're having trouble with waxing. So don't panic too much. Yes, exactly. One direction, yep. So I think I'm going to come back now. I can see this to me looks a little bit darker. So I'm going to come back now and add, see if I can add a touch bit more black wax, but I have to be really careful because I don't want to go too much. I'm maybe just going to do the dry brush method and try to copy now what this looks like. And just gently wipe, just gently now. I'm not pressing hard as if I'm rubbing in. I'm now doing things very gently. There, now that to me looks like it matches. I don't know if you guys can, hopefully you guys can see, but that matches better now. So it looks much better. Hi Lori, have you tried adding more clear to the dark? I do have, this is my container with clear. This is clear and dark mixed together, and that's my first, that's what I do first, and then I'm coming back and adding more with just my straight dark. So yeah, if you're working on a light color, you want to make sure you're mixing it. Don't do a straight black on a light color. Go do your mix of clear and black, or clear and dark wax together. I'm using black, but there is also a dark wax that you can get, which is dark wax. This happens to be black wax. But if that's scary, just use your dark. It is dark though. Dark wax is truly dark. But yes, you should always do a mix first of clear and dark or clear and black. Don't go straight. Use your straight after you've done your first. So this is my mix of black and clear. And I'm going to do this portion here. It's a lot of fun working with waxes. You just have to, there is a learning curve. You kind of have to play around and test things out, and you know, it's not an instant learning thing. You have to just kind of play around with it. But the most important thing I can tell you about wax is do not do your whole piece. You have to work in sections. That is the most important tip I can tell you guys. Because it dries so fast. Now I'm talking about solvent-based waxes here. I'm not talking about water-based waxes. Water-based waxes are a little bit easier to work with, I think, because it's water-based. But the thing about water-based waxes is they're not as tough as solvent-based waxes, right? This has like chemicals in it, so it's going to be a stronger coating. This is my protector. This is my top coat. I don't come back and put something on top of this. So I don't like sealing with the water-based top coats, water-based waxes. And if you're going to use a water-based wax, I would do that just as a decorative wax, right? I want to protect it first with like an Annie Sloan kind of a wax. right, which is solvent-based, and then I come back with maybe a water-based wax and do my my finishing touches, my fancy stuff with the water waxes. All right, any more questions? And if you're doing this, like I said, make sure you go inside. You need to go inside your drawers, because if you don't, you're going to see it. Sometimes the drawers sit in, right? And so if you don't do this inside, you're going to see there's going to be a difference between this and right in here, the lips. And then these, I still have to polish, but these are this is the hardware that makes this. So I think I've got all this now. I'm liking it. It's really, oh boy, let me wipe that. It's really just adds so much character, this wax. It's not everyone's taste probably, but I love it. So just work in sections. And you can get a really small, I still have to get inside there. I'll just use my stencil brush, my tiny, this is one of my stencil brushes I use for waxing. And look at that, look how much character it adds. Got to remember to go underneath too. Sometimes we forget about that. So I did a little bit of distressing, as you can see, before everything. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Thanks, everyone. And look at that, you guys. It looks so cool. I love waxes. But you know, my pieces tend to have a lot of character, a lot of stuff going on, that's just my preference. I just love, love, love wax. So that's it. I'm going to keep going, but I'll just stop filming for now. And I'm just loving this, you guys. Look at how it adds so much to the piece with all this detailing. And once I get the, once I polish these, I think it's going to be really cool. So there we go. All right, that's it, you guys. Thanks for joining me. If anybody has questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll answer you.